Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I will get you all an update on my past week's worth of training for the 2020 Big Sur International Marathon in just a moment. But before I do that, I wanted to remind everyone that I am running this race as a charity runner, and I am running for Organization for Autism Research. I do have a fundraising page going for that. I'm looking to raise $2,000 to help the good people at OAR out. And I will put a link to that fundraising page in the description of this video. So when you're done, go ahead and slide on down to the description. And if you're so inclined, go ahead, click the link and contribute a little bit of money towards that goal. Every little bit helps, so don't be shy about it, and it will be very much appreciated. Before I get to the actual week's worth of training that I've done, I just wanted to talk a little bit about comparison. There's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt that goes around and gets used a whole lot. And that is that comparison is the thief of joy. And in this running world, there's certainly plenty of people to find yourself comparing yourself to. I've got a lot of friends who are runners, and I follow them on their various social media accounts. I've got just runners in general that I don't even know that I follow on social media. Some people on YouTube that I watch and subscribe to their channel. And you can end up watching these things, and you can really question some of the things that you're doing or how well you're doing. And it kind of, in the end, makes you wonder, am I really a good runner? Am I being a good runner? Am I a bad runner? There's a lot of people out there that have very specific routines. They've got tips, they've got tricks, they've got coaches that they use. And a guy like me, I pretty much, I just go out and run. I don't do a lot of the extra stuff that people certainly do. Stretching is one big one. People stretch before they run, people stretch after they run. There's dynamic stretching, there's static stretching, and I pretty much don't do any of it. There's people that use foam rollers and massage tools and everything like that, and I don't do that either. A lot of people have very specific diets for when they're training, and I don't. And if you sit back long enough, you can start to wonder, if you're not a really good runner if you're not doing all these things that everyone else is doing. But I will say that I am learning a little bit, and I am moving in the direction of doing more and being a little more proactive and picking up some good habits so that I can be a better runner. And one of the big ones that's out there is running with pain. Not that you're supposed to run with pain. You're not supposed to run when you're in pain. But in the past, I've been guilty of pushing through some things. I've pushed through some plantar fasciitis. I've pushed through some Achilles problems, tendonitis of my Achilles. Obviously, muscle soreness is just muscle soreness. So you push through that sometimes. But I really think I'm coming around and learning not to do that anymore. So That kind of ties into this past week's training because it was not good. It was bad. I had wrapped up last week's training with a 13-mile long run. Took a couple days off after that. Actually took 3 days off after that because of a schedule that got a little bit busy. But then went out on my next run and started to feel a little bit of pain in my left side, my calf, lower leg, kind of on the outside part of it, kind of shooting up the side of it. Wasn't bad. Certainly didn't slow me down, but it was there. So the next day, walking around a little bit, it was tender, hurt a little bit, and I wore a compression sleeve on my leg when I went to work, thinking maybe just needs, a little bit of TLC. And then I came home that evening and went out for my run, and it was bad. I only did 2.5 miles as opposed to the 3 that I started out planning on doing, and it didn't go well. It hurt from the start straight through to the end, and the last half mile or so I started to pay attention and noticed that I was even running but limping at the same time. So I was pretty hobbled by it, and when I got in I was very kind of down about it. It was a bad run in general, and I knew I had to shut it down for at least a few days, and that's something you never really want to do, especially when you've got a big race that you're training for. But I had to do it. I knew it wasn't going to be good the next day or the day after. I was scheduled to run the next day, which would have been 6 miles. Didn't do that. Took another day or two after that. And I was supposed to do my long run after that. And I skipped that also because I was having pain in the leg still. I don't know what it was. You go to Dr. Google and you try and figure out what things are. As far as I could tell, it could have ranged from anything from some tendonitis to a calf strain to a stress fracture. Who knows? I was just hoping it was going to be all right. So pretty much the rest of that week of training was washed out. And it was worrisome. It was hard. It was hard not to push through it. It was hard not to try and run through it. I don't want to lose any time because I need every bit of training that I can get going into this race. But I shut it down. And as of today, it is feeling pretty good. I would call it 95%. So hopefully in a few moments, I'm going to go ahead and head out for a run. And hopefully it won't hurt. And if it does, well, then I'm just going to have to shut it down in a little bit more. But we'll see. But, I guess the idea that I want to stress here is sometimes comparison can be a thief of joy, but sometimes comparison can also teach you the right things to do. So on top of being smart about not running when I was in pain, I think I'm going to start incorporating some of that stretching stuff that everybody does. We'll see. Sometimes habits are hard to start on top of bad habits being hard to stop. But I'm going to give it a shot. I want to be a smarter runner. I want to be able to compete in this race at the level that I expect. Not that I expect a whole lot, but I want to be able to complete it and feel good about the effort that I put in. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this this section of the video to an end. Okay, first run post-injury. I'm going to take it nice and slow, short, and hopefully come back pain-free. Okay, so got a quick little 2 miles in, not quick, slow, and felt all right. A little bit tight in my left leg, but not painful, just tight. I don't know what that means, but it was good to get out. I feel like I can go tomorrow. We'll see once I wake up in the morning and go to work how well that's going to work out. But if not, I'll just wait. By comparing myself to others, I'm learning not to run when I hurt. And since the leg is tight, I'm going to go home and massage it. Do a little stretching. Take a little care post-run and make sure that I'm doing all I can to make sure everything's all right. So, with that, I will truly sign off. Again, don't forget to check in the description of the video for a link to my fundraising page. Let's help the good people at Organization for Autism Research. And that'll be it. I will see you all next week. Have a good one.